We have a fifth line day. We are looking at gate 26, which is the gate of the egoist, the taming power of the great. And the fifth line is called adaptability. Ra said that this is a line that is for human design. Whenever he met anyone who had the 26 line 5, he would say to them, "You're made for human design." If there is a line out of all the 384 lines that says you should study human design, it is this fifth line in the 26th gate called adaptability. What is so often misunderstood about the 26 and the 40 as well is that they are enormously involved with other human beings. These are deep human contact gates because the tribe is dependent on the ego. So these gates, because they are the only way for the tribe to get into that ecosystem, they have to deal with all kinds of human and social pressures. The exaltation says the understanding of mechanics and the application of energy to achieve maximum potential. The power of memory, which maximizes the potential of the ego to attract others. This is what the outside projects onto this capacity of the egoist. If you don't understand human beings, if you don't understand how things work, then you are not going to be able to properly manipulate the information and get it out. You have to know how people work. Everything about the capacity to have influence on the tribe is the ability to understand the nature of human beings, how they work, what they need, how to satisfy those needs, how to explain to somebody what they need, and that you can do it for them. A great salesperson can read their client like a book. They know exactly how to seduce them. That's the fifth line gift. They know exactly where their soft spot is. They know. It's just a gift that they have. But they can only do it in those moments when it's revealed. And of course, those are moments of crisis. Those are the moments when the fifth line abilities are available. But it's the understanding of mechanics, of how things are going to work, how the other works. It's understanding the mechanics of seducing others. In the detriment, a resistance and dissatisfaction when basic changes to nature are necessary. The resistance of the egoist to adaptation. If you don't understand the mechanics, if you don't understand how the thing works, you're going to have to change your ways. And nothing bothers the ego and the tribe more than having to change their ways. They hate it, unless changing that way can turn out to be the best for them. But it's not like they can just trust that, not on the surface. This is all about being forced to learn techniques. Remember, the fifth line gets projected on. Everyone says, "Oh, you're great at this." But that doesn't mean that you have the tools to do what it takes. No, the tools that it takes are that the moment that you step in there, you really have to understand that other human being. The moment that these people have to learn a technique, they have to change their technique, they can be very uncomfortable. They've gone to all that trouble to learn it in the first place, and now you're saying you've got to change it. No, no, no. So the 26-5 in detriment, when they have to learn a new way of dealing with people or of doing their work, they are very uncomfortable. They really do not want to have to adapt to that. Ultimately, what this line is saying is understand the mechanics. And the 45-5 is called leadership. All gathering must have a center and a focus. Leadership is often considered to be a sixth line keynote, and yet the general is definitely a leader, but in a very particular way, under very particular conditions in times of crisis. And they need to understand the mechanics. They need to understand other human beings in order to be able to transmit them efficiently, in order to adapt to them. Having a center and a focus, being supported in that, is what comes through from the 45-5. So the moon is still in gate 24 since 4:31 this morning. This is the Ajna gate of individuality, the gate of rationalization. The moon then moves into the driving seat of gate 2 at 1347. This is the receptive, the gate of higher knowing. It's in the G center and it's one of the direction gates, of course. It's where the magnetic monopole sits, attracting to us whatever is correct for us to experience, the people we need to meet on this path that we're traveling. Next, we have gate 23 at 2302. We have all the throat gates coming up now as the moon moves through this quarter of civilization. We have 7 throat gates followed by 4 root gates and then the final 4 throat gates. This is individuality, of course, at the moment. The gate of assimilation is also called splitting apart. This is the voice that says, I know. And just because it says that, it doesn't actually mean it knows anything. It's a project gate. It needs to be recognized and invited to share the individual inspiration that has come to it through the stream of knowing, from gate 61 in the head, through the 24, into the 43, and finally here into the 23 for expression and possible assimilation, if it's not being too weird. And the final moon gate today is gate 8 at 8:18. I'm chewing my hair. This is the individual gate of contribution. It says, I know I can contribute or not. All of the throat gates, all of these statements should have the or not after them. This is a gate in a leadership channel, but individuality doesn't want to lead, except perhaps by example. But even then, it's up to you whether you take it on or not. They will very happily go on their own path alone, if necessary. Thank you very much for joining me for this 5th line of gate 26. And tomorrow, top of the hexagram. Get to the end of that tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you then. Please do join me. And until then, love yourself. And as always, go gently.